Hello everybody. Welcome to Lunch and Upper Marketing. It's high noon. And we're here for another week. How's everybody doing today? Doing all right? Good, good, good. Enjoying this beautiful fall season. So welcome. So I'm curious, is there anybody here for the very first LA2M meeting? Two newcomers. Okay, welcome. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. We do meet here every Wednesday, so please come back and join us. It's a great way to meet people. It's a great way to learn something. I think we learn a lot every week, don't we, Stacy? So my name is Derek Rayle, CEO of Ingenix Digital Marketing, and I'm up here with Stacy Collett from Dollar Bill Printing. And let me just tell you a little bit about LA2M real quick. So LA2M is a 501c3 educational nonprofit. So we hold these programs free for anyone to come. We film them. So Roger Rayle actually live streams them, and people watch them all over the world simultaneously. We also archive them, so we put them up on our website as an archive, and you can watch them later. So if you want to go back and learn some topics, you can learn a lot and go watch our archives. Carter takes pictures so we can all see ourselves on Facebook, and so it's kind of a nice thing that we have going. Mary Lou is our one employee. She's employed at LA2M because there was just too much work to do it all volunteer, because for so long we did it all volunteer. And I think we're coming up on, this will be 4 years or 5 years? We got to figure that out, because we're coming up on some anniversary in January, and we should like do something like a party or something. But yeah, parties. So Stacy's our treasurer. Stacy's our treasurer. So when I say it's free, as you know, you can buy lunch for $10. You're welcome to. That's right through counter meals. It's a really good deal. Includes your drink and a tip. And if you want to donate to us to help us foot the bill for all we're doing, we pass the hat. So we do it old school. We suggest a $3 donation. But anything you can give is great, and it really goes to fund our hard costs, which we do have hard costs, and keep us going. So that's basically what pass that. You know, we're actually, since we're a 501c3, we're trying to get our PayPal set up. If you already want to make donations before the end of the year for a tax write-off, we may be allowing people to do that, which would be great. You can donate to LA2M 501c3, write it off, and it would really help us fund our programming for next year and beyond. So something to think about. If you're interested, talk to me or Mary Lou. Okay, so we also have sponsors at LA2M. For $250 a month, you can sponsor, and you'll be in the newsletter, which goes out to over 1,700 people throughout Southeast Michigan. It's a really good email marketing list of marketing influencers, advertising folks, and people who want to learn about this type of stuff. Basically, anyone who's ever come to LA2M joins the email list. That's a lot of people. And you also get to talk at the meetings. And we don't have flyers today, but I'm sure you all know Bud Gibson from the Search Marketing Program at Eastern. Bud, you want to say a few words?
I'm Bud Gibson. I created the Search Marketing Program at Eastern. We are sponsoring LA2M because we put on an annual event, the Search Marketing Workshop. It's going to be held November 16th, which is a Friday. It's a week from this Friday. It's at thesearchmarketingworkshop.com. We've sold out. This is the power of marketing at LA2M, and we have a wait list of 10 people. However, if you're really just dying to go, I'm looking into, can we expand capacity? We're right at our seating capacity right now. Is there some way to expand? And if there is, I'm going to let in more people off the wait list. So that's some, little advertisement, but I paid to advertise LA2M sponsorship for Derek. It worked for us.
Thanks, Bud. Thank you. Bud's been a great sponsor. Actually, he bought 2 months, so that's very generous. Thank you very much. And what else? Okay, so just to give you an idea of format, our speaker talks for about 30 minutes. We often have time for Q&A. Okay, so if you think of some good questions, once our speaker finishes, we may have time for questions. And we do have a Facebook page. You can check in on Foursquare at LA2M. Jim back there is the mayor. Make sure you check in on Foursquare. We will also be live tweeting this program, so you can follow along at LA2M. Aaron O'Neill from Ingenix is going to be live tweeting as LA2M. You can also use the hashtag LA2M if you want to tweet this program, which I encourage you to do. And today's speaker, I just met for the first time, so I'm really glad to meet him. He's from an agency called 360 Interactive up in Bend, up just north of us here. And his name is Dale Keipert, and I just looked him up on our LA2M to Go app. Right, so I have all Dale's information right in the LA2M app, which you should all download if you get an iPhone. If you don't have an iPhone, I apologize. It's okay. It's still time for before Christmas. But yeah, so Dale is the 360, and he's going to talk about email marketing success. So I think a lot of people want to hear about that. And let's give Dale Keipert a warm round of applause.
Thanks, Eric. Thanks for having me here today. Appreciate it. What a great topic to talk about, email marketing. It ranks right up there with AOL, MySpace, and a lot of the other technologies that have kind of really diminished a little bit in terms of how we pay attention to it. Email marketing has really gotten to a point where it's been around for so long, we really have gotten to a point where we think that there's just nothing left that we can do with it. It's kind of a dinosaur. Let's talk about social. Or let's talk about something a little bit more exciting than email marketing. So we tend to get a little bit bored when we start talking about this topic, but I want to talk about a few things that I think may invigorate you a little bit more today regarding email marketing. The reason that email marketing is still a player today when so many technologies have kind of gone by the wayside or diminished in their role is that it works. No question about it, email marketing still works. There's some things that we have to pay attention to with email marketing that are a little bit different, a little bit unique to make it work, but it does. When we give it the attention that we need, it certainly does work. The first thing that we have to look at with regards to email is our list. We have to look at our list proactively in terms of both growth and maintenance. Let me ask you a question. How many folks here are doing any kind of consistent email marketing? Show of hands. Okay, pretty good. How many folks have run a campaign recently specifically focused on growing your list? Somewhat less. I think we got one person. How many folks have recently proactively gone through and cultivated or called out your list on any maintenance side? Okay, a couple more. Those are the things that we have to continue to do with our list, is continue to look for opportunities to not only grow it, but also to manage it. So the list is very, very important. This is a survey that came out of a marketing survey result recently. And essentially what they were asking is marketers in both B2B and B2C sectors where their priorities were lying in terms of their list maintenance. The interesting thing that we found out is that 19% on both channels, over 19% felt that list maintenance, list growth, list attention was very, very important. 52% were in the somewhat positive and 24% were neutral. The interesting point, though, is that less than 7% in both B2B and B2C channels felt that essentially managing your email list had minimal value. So everybody is starting to pay attention to their lists. We're starting to kind of come full circle with email marketing, and people are starting to re-engage, reevaluate, not just campaigns, but where the campaigns are going to and how they're being utilized. Of the two maintenance topics, this survey also found that the two most important topics are gaining opt-ins and reducing opt-outs. Seems like kind of normal, right? But if you think about it for a second, to manage your list to improve opt-ins, there's a couple ways that you would do that. One is maybe stop buying lists and start growing your lists more organically. To decrease opt-outs, there's a couple things that you would do to manage that. One would be to try to reinvigorate some of the folks that are in your list that are becoming stale. Another thought might be to segment your list and start to target the messaging, offers, or incentives. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But it's interesting when we start to see this quantity of marketers in the business community starting to pay attention to list growth and list management. It's interesting to see how they're going to start to utilize the benefits that email marketing can really bring. So how do we grow our lists? There's as many ways to grow a list as there are ways to imagine marketing. This tells us a little bit about some of the ways to manage these lists or grow these lists that are most prevalent and most popular. Obviously, subscription opportunities across any online platform that you have, whether it's a website, a blog, Facebook, any way that you can capture that information is going to be absolutely beneficial. Forward to a friend is still a very dominant way to grow your email list. Interestingly, we all tend to associate with people who are somewhat similar to us. If we tend to like a topic, we have a tendency of being friends with people that like that same topic. Giving people the ability to see and easily facilitate in a forward to a friend through your email communications will have a dramatic impact on your list growth. Social sharing is another great way to grow your email list. It's interesting though, it's not just the online channels in marketing that are going to grow your list. A lot of times we forget about the fact that there's a lot of offline opportunities that we can use to grow our lists. Does anybody participate in a trade show, exhibit show? Okay, are you at those collecting email lists or are you collecting business cards? A little bit? Yep. Okay, good. That's a great opportunity for cultivating and growing your email list. Some other things is, what about direct mail campaign? Direct mail campaign with a call to action to go to a subscription place within your website or even on your blog. So you can utilize direct mail campaigns, you can utilize co-sponsorship opportunities. So it takes a little bit of creativity sometimes, but your list is the first place that you want to be able to look at. The challenge that most of us have with email marketing is it seems like there are so many variables. Sometimes we just don't know what to do to make the improvements. How do we increase our open rates? How do we increase our click-through rates? What is it going to take? I mean, you think about the variables that are involved, and we talk a lot about subject lines, and we talk a lot about relevancy, and we talk about creative, time of day, day of week, when do we send it, how often do we send it, frequency, efficiencies, all of these things. And it becomes overwhelming. And one of the things that happens more often than not is we tend to gravitate to the design concept. Oh, if my email would only look better, I'm sure my performance would improve. If I could get a more professional look on my email message, then conversions would improve, right? We've all been down that road. Ran across a study recently that showed that Pier 1 was running into the same issues. They were trying to improve the conversion rate on their email messages. So they went and tested 3 different creatives, each one a little bit more sophisticated than the last. You would think that the conversion rates would increase accordingly. In fact, what they found is that the improvements in the design decreased the conversion ratios. In fact, the first one that they tried decreased conversions by 52%, fairly dramatic over their own control design. Second iteration reduced it by 19%. Third iteration took it down to 34%. Design doesn't necessarily equate to conversion. So if that's not it, then what is it? And one of the things that's starting to come out, and this has been cultivated by Marketing Experiments, who started to work with formulas, and one of the things that they're working on, and it makes a lot of sense, is the formula that says email marketing efficiencies equals relevancy with offer plus incentives minus friction and anxiety. There's our formula. Email marketing efficiencies equals relevancy times offer plus incentive minus friction plus anxiety. We'll talk about each one of these real quickly. Everybody got that? Okay. Relevancy. Quite a while ago, I was talking at a group similar to this, and we were talking about technologies, and the question was asked, what's the next big technology? What's the next big thing that's coming out in the interactive space? And we've gone through them all. I can remember when email marketing was the big thing. I've been around that long. I started in this industry back in the mid-90s. I remember when email marketing was it. I remember blogs. I remember social coming on the scene. So what's the next big thing? And I'm not convinced that it's a technology. My belief is that the next big thing is relevancy. The more relevant our messaging is, the higher the engagement we're going to have. So when we look at our email marketing efforts, relevancy is the key to everything that happens good with email marketing campaigns. So by relevant, we have to make sure that the information that we're giving to our customers is hitting them at the right time in the buy cycle. It's hitting them at the right peak of their interest level. It's talking about a product that they're actually interested in. So the more relevant that we can get that messaging, regardless of whether it's topic or time of day or week of the month or month of the year, the better we can do that, the more data we have about our subscription list, the higher those conversions are going to be. I mean, think about how you interact with your email on a daily basis. There are some newsletters I'm sure that you signed up for years ago that you're not engaged with. You've not unsubscribed from them because there's still a little peak of interest, but you're not fully engaged in them. Most likely the reason that your engagement has diminished is because they've not kept up with your interests. Or they've somehow bored you with the content. It's not highly relevant any longer. So relevancy is absolutely crucial. The next thing that we want to look at is the offer plus the incentive. So think about some of the email messages that you get on a regular basis. Are the offers relevant with what your expectations for that message are? Whether it's a B2B and they're sending you some resources or some research information, or if it's a B2C and they're sending you a promotion on an item, is it relevant with where you're at, either in the buy cycle or in the product interest that you have? So if you signed up for an email newsletter or email offers, let's say, and you do it with, let's say, a running shoe or a tennis shoe company or shoe company, and you can express to them, they give you the opportunity to express to them your interests are in running shoes, and they continually send you promotions on tennis shoes, there's a big disconnect. The offer is not right with the recipient. So the more that we can segment that list, the better the offer is going to be. The offer has to be relevant, but then the incentive for you to take that offer has to be strong enough to get you to take action on it. So as you're crafting an email message and you put this big offer on there, but you're missing an incentive to act now, quite often that offer falls on deaf ears. So we have to make sure that we're looking at both the offer and the incentive to really start to culminate some activity and some action. And then we look at the negative side of the email marketing equation. And essentially what we're looking at here is force and anxiety. Friction is stating essentially how much work do I have to do to take advantage of this offer? Do I have to hunt to find the call to action button? Is it a very, very small text link that I can't hardly make out? What is the friction that's going to happen? The other part is anxiety. When I click on this button, what's going to happen? What exactly are you expecting from me? And a lot of that can come from the verbiage that you utilize in a call to action button. One of the best examples that I've seen recently about a bad text in a call to action button is the word submit. How many people are still using the word submit on call to action buttons, either in a blog, forum, email, anything? Few? Okay. What happens when you look at somebody and they say to you, submit to me your information. We all kind of bristle at that, don't we? It's kind of like, I'm not going to submit to anybody. The same thing goes through our users' minds. It's little things like that verbiage that we can use that raises that anxiety level. How many people today have not checked their email inboxes? Nobody? Everybody has checked their email inboxes? How many people have checked their email since they've been here on their iPhone or mobile phone? Looks like just about everybody. Email is very, very critical. When I walk into the office, first thing I do is I pop up my mail application and I start going through my email. I'll generally have about 125 to 130 messages first thing in the morning. Imagine my anxiety level when I open it up and see 130 messages. It's like, you've got to be kidding me. It's not that different for the people that are receiving your email messages. They're doing the exact same thing. Does anybody have any anxiety when they see that email from Chase Bank and you happen to have a Chase Bank account? Do I open it? Do I not? Do I click on it? Do I not? There's high levels of anxiety. The same thing happens when you send an email message to your recipients. We have to be able to get them to trust us, reduce their anxiety, and the best way to do that is to be crystal clear and exceedingly specific in what our offer and incentives are. So I might submit that one of the things that we could do is, rather than clicking on that submit button, maybe we could find some different verbiage for that. We'll look at that in a little bit more detail. The reason that we tend to get caught up in just the status quo with email is, I might submit that our goals may be a little bit skewed for the channel. Anybody that does email marketing, tell me what your goal is for your email marketing. Anybody?
Drive traffic back to the website.
Drive traffic, okay? Anybody else? Okay, let's go with drive traffic. And that's a great goal. Often we'll talk to people that say our goal is to sell a widget, increase sales on this running shoe, get 15 downloads of this particular white paper. It's very, very specific as to what those goals are. And those macro level goals are absolutely important. We need to have them. The challenge is that when we create the email message, we create them with that macro level goal in mind. So when we get into the email messages, we've got huge pictures, plural, of that running shoe. We've got call to actions all over the place. And the reader opens it and becomes instantly overwhelmed. Anxiety goes through the roof, and they're not sure where to go next or what to do. And the easiest thing is just to close it. We have 7 minutes to get our offer across, incentivize them to take steps, and actually convert. So if we're looking at what we're doing or how we're writing our email messages at the macro level, chances are we're going to miss some real opportunities. So I submit that we may want to start looking at our goals, identify the macro goal, but identify micro conversions within the email process. By micro conversions, essentially what we're talking about is getting the user or the recipient to go from the subject line, make a yes decision to open the email, read the headline, making a yes decision to read the first paragraph, which then makes a yes decision for the remainder of the email message, which then converts into a yes decision on the call to action. If we start to look at our messaging and our communications at that micro level, we will dramatically see an increase in people that are starting to take yes decisions at each step. Let me give you an example. This is a headline that's very, very similar to one that I received recently. It is from sales at XYZ Computer Supply, rus.com. When it was sent to James C. at yourdomain.com. Subject is free. free memory today, right? First of all, it's amazing it got through all the spam filters with all those exclamation points. But apparently our IT guy believes in a very liberal policy of spam filtering. What does that tell you as a potential recipient as soon as you see that? One, it came from who? I don't know Mr. Sales. I have no relationship with him. He's not a buddy. I can't relate to that. I get down to the subject line and what am I thinking? Scam, scam, bait switch, loss leader. They won't have memory for my machine, right? So, kind of got ahead of myself. So how would it work if you received a message that came from Bill Smith at xyzcomputersrus.com? Would that lower your anxiety? Would that give us a yes decision to go down to the subject line? Yeah. We're starting to break down the barriers micro level at a time. So we now know that we're getting it from a person. The next thing we do is we look at the subject line, and what's the difference? Hey, are there any sales guys in here? Any sales people? Remember the old feature benefit? Somebody throw you a cross pen, and they go, sell this to me. And you go feature benefit, until you couldn't see straight anymore. Remember those days? We're talking about the benefit of more memory. Who doesn't have speed problems with their computers? We all do. Address the issue by relating it into a benefit. Does that pique your interest a little bit more than free memory today? Yeah. So give them the benefit in the subject line. You will see increases in your open rate. And if we get them to open it, we're way farther ahead than where we were if they just kind of deleted it. So let's look at the subject line. Let's make sure that we get the benefits as early as we possibly can. Some other ideas that we can do is start to personalize. If this is a customer that has done business with your company in the past, and you know, and he's registered with you so that you know what his computer is, what would happen is if you said, speed up your old Dell laptop computer. What if you said, speed up your old Dell laptop model number something computer? Wow. That's right where I live. That's now in my wheelhouse. Personalization can be a lot more than Dale, comma, speed up your computer. So it's still a step in the right direction, but you can really start to harvest it the more data that you allow your customers to give you throughout the transactional processes. Okay? Make sense? So, we got a yes at the from. It's from a person. We have a yes at the subject line. I see a benefit here. Makes sense. It's something I want to pursue. The next road bump is the headline. What that headline reads is going to either get them to move down so that you can at least have a conversation with them, or they're gone. That's it. Those are the two options. So the headline has to correlate with the subject line. Because remember, they're expecting to hear information about how to speed up their own computer. If you start talking about get a new laptop in your headline, what happens? I feel like I've just been duped. Don't I feel foolish? My anxiety level goes up, and I just go, forget it. I'm out. Close up, move on. We have to move it through the microprocesses. So we want to speed up your computer for under $50. We've hit the benefit, and we've also gotten a little bit of a call to action. We're starting to intrigue them with a little bit of a price structure. So now we've got a yes there, and we've got the person to move into the first paragraph. In the first paragraph, what does the reader want to learn? They want to learn about how this offer is going to help me. What are the benefits? What's the cost? What am I going to have to do to get this? But that first paragraph is where we can really drive it home. This is the Big Benny. Right here is where we just start to elevate everything about the benefits of the offer and how it's going to benefit you as a purchaser or as a consumer. This one we've got the biggest frustration among computer users is a slow computer. Adding memory that will improve your computing experience immediately. So we're really starting to express to them that this is going to fix your problem. We're going to do it quickly. That paragraph then has to get a yes decision to go into the details, the nitty-gritty, the body of the message, the body of the offer. This is where we can start talking about some of the options, some of the pricing, bringing that call to action, and then bringing them down to making it happen. At this point, if I were looking at that submit button, I wouldn't know exactly what I'm going to find on the other side. If we don't clearly tell them what they can expect by hitting this button or link, they probably won't. So in this example, what we wanted to see how easy it is. This is not going to take them to an online checkout arm. It may not even take them to the store directly. Wouldn't it make sense if that link took them to a graphic that showed speed changes with more memory? It reduces the anxiety. It's a clear call to action. It tells them exactly what they can anticipate when they get to the other side. So that's how we start to look at the development of our messaging and our communications, how we get to those micro level decisions to get people to just make constant yes decisions to move forward through the process. The next step in terms of how do we get our email messaging to work better comes in the post launch of our messaging. How many folks do testing on their email messages? Couple? Okay. Let me back up. How many folks get and look at analytics for all their email messages? Okay. Does anybody get them and just don't look at them? Yeah, there's some. There's some. It takes time. I understand it. And then you look at it, you go, okay, open rate, click-through rates, yada, 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 you move on. There's a lot of information that we can really cultivate out of those analytics. We can look at things like who opens our messages and what time do they open them. If there's a segment within our lists that are opening their messages at noon the next day, wouldn't it make sense to send to that group at noon of the day that you want to send it out, rather than them feeling like they're getting messages that are a day old? The other things that we can look at are done through A/B testing. A/B testing is essentially having an email message that we would look at as a control. This is a message that you would send out on a regular basis. We would then take that message and we would add some treatments to it. We might change the content a little bit. We might change the submit button from saying submit to take a look and test drive our new computers. We send out the messages to the entire segment of your list. Half see the control, or the old way of doing it. Half see the message with treatments. The higher the performance, that version wins. So let's say we change the call to action button to great green. And we see an increase in conversions of 30% over what we normally send out. Guess what? Next email message, that call to action button is now green. And then maybe we try something different. We try different verbiage inside of that call to action button. Guess what? If we see an increase in conversion, that becomes the norm, and we just keep testing. Some of the things that are being tested with great success, first of all, are subject lines. If your email software has the ability to send out variations, let it use that option. Take and dissect your segments or your lists 2 or 3D and send differently worded subject lines and see what performs best with your audience. You'll be surprised at what happens. It's not uncommon for us when we start to work with a client to see increases of up to 60% difference in conversions, just by changing subject lines and how they word it, adding some personalization. Work within the content of your message. Use different variations of a headline or of a body or how you utilize benefits. Look at imagery. Imagery is critically important when we talk about relevancy and email marketing success rates. Because we've gotten to a point as users where we don't even skim that much anymore. You know, back in the late 90s, we used to look at everything online and we would actually read it. And then we got to late 2000s, early 2010s, and then we started skimming. And we're not even skimming anymore. We're looking at pictures, trying to make a deduction on what it's all about. And if that doesn't get it to us, then we look at some subject lines or some call to action, see if it makes sense. Imagery is very, very important. Make sure your imagery is as relevant to your message as it possibly can be. Test on your imagery. Does your conversion increase when you have imagery of people that fit the demographic of the person that's receiving your message? I bet you it will. Try it next time. See if you're not surprised. So look at imagery, look at all of the call to actions, and then finally test on the landing page. When somebody clicks on your offer, they're going to go someplace. Please make that someplace other than your home page. Because we have to fulfill the promise of what we've offered in the email message. So if you're going to send out an email message on memory, take them into the area of your site that talks about memory. Please don't drop them off at the home page and expect them to try to navigate their way to the most relevant content that's related to that email message. Because quite honestly, they just won't do it. So test constantly, test continuously, and take what you learn from those tests and make your email messages stronger, more relevant, better offers, and you will increase your conversion, guarantee it. That, in a nutshell, is everything that I have to tell you about email marketing today. We went through it a little bit quickly, but what I'd like to do at this point is just essentially see if anybody has any questions. Yeah.
What happened to have that Pier 1 image before they started going down the precise
I don't know, I'm sorry.
Okay, I have a question. What if, I know a click-through means they got your email and they click on it, and it goes through to wherever you were sending them. But what's an open? I mean, when I get emails, it's open. I can see it. I don't have to do anything just as soon as, is it just as soon as I hit the button that's an open?
Yes, if you have preview engaged on your email client, then everything that's in there is going to be an open for you.
Okay.
Yep. So,
I've always wondered that.
And that's a great question, because one of the things that we have to do when we look at our analytics is take that into account. Yep.
That it's automatically open.
It's going to register as an open, no?
When you're asking them to click on the link and I guess email marketing, or marketing on the email, does it go to the landing page or does it go to the capture page?
I'm sorry, say it one more time.
Would it go to the capture page or would it go to the landing page, like from the email itself?
When you, from your call to action, it would ideally take them to a landing page.
Where they complete the sale?
Right, yep.
Or where they actually put their email address again into like a different...
No, if you have their email address, ideally what you would do is take them to, and I refer to it as a landing page, but it could be any page in your site where they could fulfill what they're trying to accomplish, whether it's download a white paper, buy a widget, whatever that may be. Now, if it's a forward to a friend link, then that I would suggest that they take to an opt-in page where they can give you their name, their email address, and their preferences.
Okay, just because I see sometimes like people do multiple opt-ins, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, so for me, that already gets confusing as to how to manage that, let alone if you're through it.
Yeah, and we're seeing a trend, and you hit on something really good. We're seeing a trend right now in dual opt-ins. And there's two schools of thought with it. I can tell you that if you're going to generate lists through purchases or dirty lists is what we call them, not because they're bad, but just because we don't know who they are. And we want to minimize unsubscribers, and I would say a double opt-in is good. So a double opt-in is where we would send them an email, ask them to register, and then they would come in, and that would be then the second opt-in. Or if they registered on our site, they'd be presented another page that says, "Are you sure you want to do this?" That would be a double opt-in process. And there's a lot of people that are moving in that direction because it reduces the unsubscriber. Did that answer your question? Kind of?
No, it did.
Okay.
I brought up another question.
Okay.
Do some people get taken to landing capture pages from, like, we do a different list once I guess the idea is you have their email, your marketing account. They click on the link, so like, oh, good. So now it's like they get sent to another capture page, which doesn't confirm that they're interested, but also puts them on, like, deeper into a sales funnel.
Yeah.
So they go out of like phase one, and they're like, oh, they clicked on the link. So they're going out of phase one from the email into phase two. So we're gonna, you know?
Yeah, I do.
Does that work?
Yep, it does, and it works really well because what happens is if you have a generic list and you don't really know what their preferences are, then you can do one of two things. You can have every call to action can take them to a preference page where they pick, I like running shoes. And now you can start to segment them. Or you can change, you can identify them based on the links that they click on. So there's ways, but what you're doing essentially is segmenting their interests so that you can be more relevant in future communications.
Okay, when you're convinced marketing, do you find that you hear on people where they segment, like, just pick one thing and focus on that mainly, or to say, well, I have multiple things, let me see where people are going.
Yeah. If you have a completely unsegmented list, my suggestion is that your strategy should be to start getting that list segmented. So in 6 months, I would throw out maybe 2, probably not more than 3 different offers, and then start to segment on who clicks on what offer. Once you start to segment, though, one offer, one message, or one message, one offer.
Great, we have a question on the way back here.
How do you do? I wanted to ask, what are the most annoying practices for writing? And, like, for instance, you mentioned the micro steps and various steps. And is there a list of the worst practices?
I don't know that there's a published list of worst practices. I think we could probably all come together and come up with a list real easily. I have to say that I think the thing that has been most detrimental to email marketing is, outside of spam, is overselling. You know, it's like if I came in here and said, hey, sign up with me and I'm going to get you on the first page of Google for every single key phrase that you want, and I'm going to do it in a week. If you hear that often enough, at some point you're just going to kind of go, everybody's lying to me. And I think that's probably the biggest hurdle that email has had in terms of its reputation.
You mentioned earlier that personalization is ideal because it creates a bond, and like you feel like, at what point do you feel that this becomes less like you're personalizing it and more like you're stalking your audience?
Yeah, what's your name?
My name's Erin.
Erin, I think at Erin, when you get to a point, Erin, where it's just too much Erin, personalization Erin, that you just kind of go, Erin, you know what, I just can't Erin do this anymore.
All right, we have time for one more question. We've got about a minute.
Early in the presentation, you referenced, I want to say, unless I misheard, you've got 7 minutes to get them to
7
proceed.
seconds.
Okay, that sounds like a long.
I'm sorry, I'm the one spoke, yeah.
Okay, just want to clarify that.
I generally can't wait to hear what I have to say. So, no, 7 seconds, I'm sorry.
I haven't heard of that.
Oh,
Is there a general trend about what kinds of products work best for email marketing or services these days? I mean, is it something like a relatively low-cost product that you might be sitting there with your credit card ready to buy?
Yeah. Again, and not to beat the dead horse, but it kind of goes back to the segmentation. If you have the ability to segment your audience based on position in the buy cycle, that's your answer. So if you've got a segment of people that are early in the buy cycle and they're researching the product or services, then the best thing you can offer them is data or resources to help them make that decision. If they're late in the buy cycle and they're done researching, I got to make a decision, I need to get this done, then it could be, if it's a product, price point, special, incentive today only. If it's a B2B or something where somebody's looking for a service, at that point, it can be free consultation, today only, or some type of a strong call to action at that late buy cycle, which is take action, make the commitment, get a hold of it.
Great. All right, let's give Dale and Keipert a big round of applause. Very informative talk. I hope you took good notes. And if you didn't, you can always go back and watch it again. And so now we get to introduce ourselves. So if you can stand up one at a time, we'll pass the mic around the room and just give us your name and your company. And if you're looking for anything in particular, like a new job or a new, I don't know, car, I don't know. So we'll start with this gentleman up front. We'll get all the way around the room. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Keipert. I am the Business Development Director for the Betty Brigade. We're a personal concierge company that specializes in relocation. We help home sellers prepare their homes for sale, everything from boxing items up to helping them get rid of things to unpacking them when they're there. We work a lot with seniors. We've just been named the preferred relocation specialist for Glacier Hills, helping seniors move from one unit to another. So if you have needs like that or know people who do, please let me know. Thank you.
I'm Chris Kwiatkowski from Design Hub, but you don't care about that. I'm actually here to pitch something else. There's LA2M is wonderful. There's also another really nice group called Marketing Roundtable. It's sponsored by Ann Arbor Spark. Some of you are probably familiar with it. Next Tuesday evening's program is about social, local, and mobile marketing. It's going to be moderated by Linda Gerard from Pure Visibility. She's got a great panel, so I do encourage you to come to that as well.
Hello, Kevin Packard from Foresight Group, printing solutions, everything from large sheet fed to digital, and I'm here to expand my marketing horizons. First meeting, enjoyed it very much.
Hi everybody, I'm Stacy from Dollar Bill, your local digital print shop. And along with your email campaign, you need to send out your postcards too. So see me.
Hi, my name is Kurt Vandervoort. I'm a local attorney with a firm of Kurt Vandervoort PLLC. One of my marketing models basically is if I can't help you, I know a lawyer who can. And basically I've been working on a website, but in the meantime realized that I had a lot of emails, addresses already built up, so my solicitation process is probably not the same as yours, but now I'd like to figure out how to make some money that way. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Sam Patel, focused in business development, largely through personal relationships and creative partnerships.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Vogel. I'm part of the marketing department with Online Tech, doing data center solutions that we're trying to keep people compliant and
Hi, my name is Selena. I moved to Namur recently, so I graduated from Oxford. I've done my master's there in marketing, and I had some experience. Worked in London. I've done some email marketing campaigns, so it was a really good presentation, and I'm open to any opportunities. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Jane Delancey of Delancey Design, and I've been doing this print and web design for over 20 years. And sometimes I ask myself, is design important to the success of your business? Lately I've been noticing, Apple seems to think so, and Pinterest seems to think so. So I'd love to talk to you about whether design can help your business. Jane Delancey, Delancey Design.
My name is Maurice Snyder. I'm from Spence Development Company. We help small and medium businesses, or any business really, to increase their business by exporting. I've had over 30 years experience in exporting, lived overseas for quite a bit of that time. So I kind of teach and advise companies on how they can increase their top line and the bottom line by going international. We also represent a company from the UK for some high-tech products. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Lori Maringer, and I work at Think Tech Labs, and we're located right in the Spark Building, so come say hi to us at the round table if you go. I work at Think Tech Labs, and basically what we do is we build apps on the Salesforce platform. So if you're interested in Salesforce, come talk to me.
Hi everybody, my name is Jim Musial. I work for a company called Analogy Digital. We're here in downtown Ann Arbor, and we do mobile and web development. So if your company is in need of mobile or web services, I'd love to talk to you. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Martin Smith with A-Side Worldwide, a marketing strategy consultant, just helping businesses to increase the traffic, increase the revenue through increasing their marketing streams.
Hi, my name is Steve Bison, and I build my business at stevebison.com, and I am helping people to achieve wellness. And that means when your doctor says you cannot be cured, I give you some alternative things to think about. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Barry Marshall. I'm the marketing manager for Rainbow Rehabilitation Centers. We do rehab services for those with brain and spinal cord injuries.
Hi, I'm Amanda Benjamin. I do visual marketing for Rainbow Rehabilitation Centers.
I'm Nancy Howard, and I'm a talent development manager, is my title now, in workforce development at Washington Community College. And we have an e-marketing certificate, a series of courses to help people understand and be able to use social media channels for their business. So you all are either knowledgeable in that or came here to find out more, because that's where I started, was at this meeting to find out where the need was as far as training. So that program is very strong, and one of the things I'm glad about is I've gotten instructors here, and we've also had students come to those classes that we head in this direction so they can connect up with folks here. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Kristen Zielinski. I also work with Nancy at Washington Community College Workforce Development Department, and I'm a project manager over there. And one of the things that I'm trying to do is really get people to, people in the community to hear about our department through social media and the newsletters. And our department basically trains and certifies employees.
Hi, I'm Stan Jellick with Jellick Patent Services. I do patents for inventors and small businesses.
Hi, I'm Dennis Skupinski. I do sales and marketing and help out with the video in here.
I'm Roger Rayle.
And I'm Erin O'Neill. I am a content producer at Agenix Digital Marketing and the LA2M Live Tweeter.
Hi, I'm Liz Czak from Czak Creative Resources. I'm a writer, marketing consultant. I work with graphic designers, people like Jane, to make things not only sound good but look good as well. Thank you.
Jamie Cope from Information Design. We do all things 3D computer graphics, some of those being web and phone marketing applications. So if you know anybody with product or real estate marketing needs, we can help you out with it.
Hi, I'm Joyce Williams, Public Affairs Manager at Kern Valley Ambulance. We're your nonprofit, nationally accredited ambulance service. And I have a very small group of people that work in my marketing radar department. I've been there for 20 years, so I have grown from print desktop. I went through the whole desktop a little bit now into digital. So I haven't been here in a while, but these sessions have been great for just trying to keep us, you know, on board and staying up with the latest stuff. Nice to see you all here.
I'm Colleen Flynn with Carnival Cruise Lines. I work with Carnival in developing sales meetings and incentive programs for corporations and businesses. And so I'm looking to organizations that would like to incentivize their sales staff.
Hello all, I'm Lila Gislason and I'm Visual Marketing Profile, so I love community friends. I'm with the Lindsay Exhibit Group. We are a company that builds and designs trade show booths. We do trade show marketing.
Hi, I'm Laura Kirchner, and I'm in Gen X Visual Marketing. And I love coming to LA2M. Since I started, I've been coming every week and find it really useful. So, and every week seems to be a totally different topic and always refreshes my mind if I already know about it, about the things to put into place. So, I do client experience management at Gen X.
Hi, I'm Mary Lou. I'm the LA2M manager. And one thing that I noticed in listening to the folks here talk about their experiences is there are quite a number of people who really understand the value of what we do here, and that is just wonderful because we love to see people benefit from what we do, and we love to have our regulars and our new people coming every week to really learn from what we do here, and you can just hear it through the room, all the people that are benefiting from what we do, and we're just really glad to have you here. One thing that I think was mentioned earlier is, we have sponsorships available. Starting in January, we have a sponsorship opening. So if you'd like to support our organization that way, or if you're looking for your end of the year tax deductible donation, we are a 501c3. So see me or Derek about making a donation to our organization to really keep this going and to support what it is we do here. So thank you for coming. Appreciate it.
Hi, I'm Carter Sherline, Frog Print Studios, commercial, editorial, and portrait photography from a different point of view. And I do that imagery that he was talking about, so if you're looking for something that's like not stock photography, come there. And the images I shoot at these meetings go up on our Facebook page. And I do that for a couple other groups too, so the marketing roundtable will be there next week as well.
Thanks, Carter. Wow, yes, I'm Derek Marabon. I run a company called Gen X Digital Marketing, which we've already talked about. It's a couple of doors down. And wow, Jamie's back. Jamie was one of the original LA2Mers, and then he moved, right, far away. It's a miracle he's back. So welcome back from far away. Where did you go? There. Oh, yes, that's pretty far. That's not as far as I thought you moved. I thought it was thinking about how anyways, you're up somewhere. So anyways, we have these LA2M t-shirts, and we give them to our speakers. So Dale, I forgot to give this to you beforehand, but let's give Dale a round of applause. These t-shirts are for sale. They're only $12.50. So if you want one, you should buy one. And so next week we have another great speaker. I think there's a trend here of great speakers, right? Who learned a lot today? I think we all did, right? And that's the beauty of this. So tell your friends. I mean, I'd like to fill this room more every week. Why not? Why shouldn't we fill it every week? So next week is Brandon Chestnut, who has spoken here before, and he works at Identity PR, which is some agency, PR, social media company out in Detroit. But he's a friend of LA2M, and he's going to talk about using social media to connect with your internal audience. So some of your biggest supporters, how to use social media to really connect and empower them. So I think it'll be a good talk. I've never heard it before. So bring a friend, come on back, and go out and make some money. See you next time.
That's all about, I guess.
Perfect. Next week.